Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, yes. Hello, welcome to Book Trivia. I'm your host, Courtney Garner. Okay, so everyone knows how this show goes. Contestants get 3 weeks to master a book of my choice. The book of choice for the week is The Travels of a T-Shirt in a Global Economy by Petra Rivoli. The game goes, contestants have 3 questions. Whoever answers best 2 out of 3 goes on to the next challenge, which is the next show. If there is a tie, in the event that that does happen, then both contestants will move on to the next round. Let's bring out our contestants. Contestant number 1, we have Osvaldo Trejo. Yep, get a little clap for him, yes. Okay, contestant number 2, we have Mr. Christian Frazier.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. Okay, guys, let's get started. Okay, guys, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Question number 1. Who was the most influential person in the war against China? Okay, I think Mr. Oz got that one.
Yep. Augie Tontillo.
Correct. That is correct.
As the race to the bottom kicked off, so did the alphabet wars and the beginning of the political era. On one hand, Augie Tontillo, not really a politician, a supporter and the face of the movement to protect jobs and text mills in the southern region of the U.S. On the other hand, Julia Hughes, also not a politician, but supports free trade. Augie and his team's biggest concern was the closing of mills and the loss of jobs created by China's overwhelming ability to produce cheap apparel. Augie had the numbers in the South, and since World War II, many U.S. presidents used Augie and his numbers to win elections, and in return they would continue to back the movement by placing tariffs and quotas on countries producing apparel. Augie did more than just protect mills from closing down. Indirectly, he protected other countries from China. The quota system gave other countries the ability to compete in a fair market. Without the quotas, there's no denying that China would probably become the only producer of cotton apparel.
Okay, our score is currently 0 for Christian and 1 for Osvaldo. It's anybody's game still at this point. Question number 2. What is comparative advantage? Go ahead, Oz. You were the quickest.
It's oh man. Shit, I
Oh,
forgot.
okay, that's definitely wrong. Not the answer. Go ahead. We have to give you a chance to answer.
So comparative advantage means like him compared to me, I'm better, so I would have the advantage. Comparative advantage.
Definitely not right, but good try.
Oh.
Great try. Let me go ahead and give you the correct answer. Comparative advantage is the ability of an individual or group to carry out a particular economic activity more efficiently than another activity.
I knew that.
It's fine. The U.S. has been able to dominate the cotton industry over many years due to comparative advantage. This is due to the immaculate agriculture in the South to produce not just large amounts of cotton, but good quality cotton. Many years ago, slaves had a lot to do with the large amounts of cotton being grown and picked. Now cotton farmers are able to produce even more cotton due to advances in technology. Cotton production soared through the roof between 1791 to 1860. Once technology infiltrated the farms, no country could compete with the U.S. in the production of cotton. This also kept other underdeveloped countries behind in the race because they couldn't financially keep up to buy the machines. As far as cotton textiles, China has the comparative advantage. With them having no labor laws, they are able to offer the cheapest prices to transform this cotton into t-shirts, which is why they are the largest buyers of cotton from America. They are able to offer these low prices due to hukou workers. Hukou workers are people who are unskilled and uneducated, which forces them to have to work in factories. The hukou workers have no choice but to work for little to nothing. They work long hours, normally around 90 hours a week with no overtime, in very dirty and hot conditions. China's abundance of labor and weak labor laws gives them a clear advantage in the race to the bottom. Making China the biggest exporter of apparel and clothing, the United States could not compete in the production. China dominates the textile industry, being responsible for over 40% of the global market share. We are now going into our third and final question. What is Africa's role in the life of a t-shirt? Go ahead, Chris, you got it first.
Okay, so Africa has like a large secondhand market for the t-shirt industry. They sell a lot of t-shirts over there that we throw away here.
Okay, it's a pretty simplified answer, but that answer will do.
Most people are completely oblivious to what happens to their clothes after they finish wearing them and no longer have use for them. In America, clothing consumption is much higher than many other countries. As we grow and fashion trends change, we tend to hand our clothes down or send them to the nearest Salvation Army. Where rich Americans see garbage, most of the world sees perfectly fine clothing that can be worn to work or even special events like weddings. Secondhand clothing businesses such as Transamerica's, a family-owned business ran by the Steuben family in New York, search through their inventory in hopes of finding articles that their customers will be willing to buy for profit. Most of these jeans, t-shirts, and other clothing pieces will be headed to Africa. Rivoli describes it as a journey from richest to the poorest place on earth. For many countries in sub-Saharan Africa, the used clothing market represents one of America's leading exports, and for several, America is the largest export. These countries include places such as the Republic of Congo, Gabon, Uganda, and Niger. However, Africa is not a wasteland for clothes. Africans are every bit as fashion conscious as Americans. Most of Transamerica's clothing is baled and sold by the pound, typically 500 to 1,000 pounds at a time, which translates to an average t-shirt cost of about 25 cents per piece to their African customers. The leftover products or scrap pieces are sold to rag cutters, who determines which shirts he can use as rags so long as there are at least 150 square inches of usable fabric.
Okay, guys, that concludes our show for today. We ended in a tie with one for Osvaldo and one for Christian, which means both will be moving on to the next round. The next round will be our challenge round. And as everyone knows the rules, today I will be announcing the book for that round. Our two contestants have 3 weeks to master every piece of this book so that when they come back to book trivia, they will be the championship winner. Are you ready to hear what book we have in store for the next challenge?
Woo!
The book that they will be challenged over will be Silk to Silicone, The Story of Globalization Through 10 Extraordinary Lives by Jeffrey Garten. I'll see y'all back in 3 weeks. Thanks for being here with us. Have a good day.